I think the first question is, I'm mostly interested in the scale of operations. So what is the ideal print volume for flatbed printing versus rotary? Maybe Ron, maybe you might be best placed to take this.
Well, flatbed speeds are typically around 400 impressions per hour on average. Rotary, I'm not familiar with. Rotary screen, I'm mostly working with flat screens and cylinder presses, but not rotary. Do you mean roll to roll?
It's written rotary, but I guess they mean like roll to roll.
Rotary is a different process where the squeegee's inside the cylinder printing, whereas I'm not that familiar with that technology. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then a follow-on question is, how does screen printing fit into the total production chain? What is needed to scale? And then are there financing methods needed to help scale up?
Well, to scale up, you need to have more information about what you have existing wise and what you want to achieve. I usually work from a standpoint of meeting the customer's specifications, which means I need to know more about the application. So if they're willing to share what they want to do and how they want to scale up, I can certainly help out in that direction, but I need to know what they want to do, where they're starting from and where they want to go as far as scaling up. It's a general term, but you need more specifics to be able to help the customer for that.
Yeah. There was a kind of a follow-up comment from the audience that says rotary is mostly 80 meters per minute. I guess this is just another question, just more.
Yeah, maybe one more comment to rotary, which is a very interesting technology. At this point, largely because of the way the mesh needs to be to give the stability of the screen as you're printing. As Ron mentioned, the squeegee is on the inside, not on the, and the substrate moves underneath. So it's a continuous printing process, which makes it fast. But there are, at this point at least, still fairly significant restrictions in how fine you can print. So it works exceedingly well for any kind of application, 100 microns and up. There may be applications that go below that, but by and large, it's still used primarily for decorative uses versus functional. But it's making progress there too. There's some interesting screens on the market, and this is not now mesh. These are galvanic electroformed products, such as SPG makes, and well, pretty much them. There's not a lot else out there. Gallos has some products that are somewhat similar, one or two others, but they all are still somewhat limited when you're pushing into the realm of solar or finest print electronics.
Perfect.
Yeah, and maybe a quick follow-up if you don't mind. Ron, you mentioned 400 impressions per hour for flatbed, correct?
Typically, that's the speeds. But if you're running paste or thicker coatings, you have to slow down the squeegee significantly for that. So what we usually do is use that number as a general.
Okay, and then in terms
of sizing the dryer, because the size of the dryer, we need to know the impressions per hour that the customer is currently using, the dry time of the coating, and then also the linear length of the substrate, and what's the distance between the substrates.
I mean, there's a lot of variables to consider, in terms of what limits the speed or what is the preferred speed. And I put in the question in the chat there, but the cylinder presses, are certainly higher speed. And although they're capable as high as 1,000 sheets per hour, a lot of the printers are using, are limiting themselves due to various factors. Again, I'd like to kind of hear the input of the panel, to about 600 at the max. I think I've seen some trials on the 800, but nobody's really maxing out these presses to the best of their